The Enigmatic Tyrant, 10 Astonishing Facts about Kim Jong Il. North Korea's dear leader, Kim Jong Il, reigned with a mix of fervent propaganda and iron-fisted rule from 1994 until his death in 2011. Father to Kim Jong-un, the nation's current supreme leader, Kim Jong Il's era was marked by stark contrasts. He was worshipped as a demigod by North Korean state media, while outside observers saw the brutal reality of his regime. This video unveils 12 shocking facts about a man whose decadent lifestyle and obsession with power stood in grim contrast to the scarcity and fear endured by his people. Dive into the life of a dictator who pushed his country into nuclear brinkmanship, while fostering a cult of personality so pervasive that it continues to influence the Hermit Kingdom to this day. Fact number 1. Opulent obsessions in a starving nation. Kim Jong Il's regime during the 1990s oversaw one of the most devastating famines in modern history, with estimates of 2 to 3 million North Koreans dying from starvation. Despite the national crisis, Kim's extravagant expenditures were infamous. He reportedly spent around $700,000 a year on Hennessy cognac and maintained a vast collection of over 20,000 movie titles. His penchant for sushi was such that he employed a personal chef who would scour the globe for the finest ingredients. The stark disparity between the supreme leader's lavishness and the grim reality of his country remains a glaring testament to the regime's skewed priorities. Number 2. Kidnapping for cinematic greatness. In a plot that would seem too outlandish even for film, Kim Jong Il orchestrated the abduction of South Korean film director Shin Sang-ok and his actress wife Choi Eun-hee in 1978. Their kidnapping was part of an audacious plan to elevate North Korea's film industry. During their 8-year captivity, they were forced to produce films until their daring escape in 1986 while on a trip to Vienna. The international outcry over the incident shed light on the extreme measures Kim Jong Il would employ to satisfy his personal ambitions. Number 3. The propaganda of celestial birth. Propaganda in North Korea fashioned Kim Jong Il's image as almost supernatural, claiming his birth at Mount Piktu, a sacred site in Korean culture, accompanied by auspicious signs like a double rainbow and a new star in the sky. In reality, he was born in the Soviet Union in 1941, during his father's exile. This divine narrative was a state-manufactured myth to bolster his godlike image among the populace, reinforcing the personality cult surrounding him and his father, Kim Il-sung. Number 4. Nuclear ambitions and global fear. Kim Jong Il's pursuit of nuclear capabilities reached a zenith with the country's first nuclear test in 2006, an event that sent shockwaves through the international community. This bold move was both a strategic play to assert North Korea's power on the global stage and a domestic measure to strengthen the regime's grip on the nation. The test was a defiance of international norms and agreements, with Kim Jong Il leveraging the nuclear program as a bargaining chip for aid and concessions, all while cementing his legacy as a leader who elevated North Korea to the ranks of nuclear states, regardless of the international isolation that followed. Number 5. Famine and economic collapse under Kim's regime. The mid-1990s marked the advent of the North Korean famine, often referred to as the Arduous March. The collapse of the Soviet Union, which had been a major ally and economic benefactor, coupled with a series of floods and droughts, dealt a severe blow to North Korea's food distribution system. Kim Jong Il's economic policies, such as the insistence on juche, or self-reliance, and his failure to implement agricultural reforms, exacerbated the crisis. The North Korean government's delay in accepting international aid resulted in the deaths of an estimated 240,000 to 3.5 million people. This tragic episode highlighted the disastrous consequences of Kim's isolationist and autocratic policies on the North Korean people. Number 6. The Deification of Kim Jong Il. The personality cult around Kim Jong Il was an integral part of North Korean society. School curricula were designed to idolize him, and his portraits were omnipresent across the nation. His official biography claimed miraculous events at his birth and attributed superhuman abilities to him, such as being able to control the weather. This state-sponsored deification served as a political tool to enforce loyalty and obedience. The extent of this cult of personality can be measured by the mandated mourning period after his death in 2011, where individuals faced punishment for not displaying enough grief. Number 7. Militarization of North Korea, Sungun Politics. Kim Jong Il's Sungun policy, prioritizing the Korean People's Army in affairs of state and allocation of resources, underscored his military-focused governance. North Korea, under Kim, boasted one of the largest standing armies in the world, with a significant portion of the country's GDP allocated to defense spending. The military-first approach contributed to the persistent food shortages and poor living standards, as funds that could have improved infrastructure and agriculture were diverted to nuclear programs and the military. The Sungun ideology was a continuation of Kim's doctrine to maintain control through strength, often at the detriment of the North Korean population's livelihood. Number 8. The enigmatic personal life of Kim Jong Il. Kim Jong Il's personal life was shrouded in mystery and characterized by the same secrecy that defined his rule. He was known to have had multiple partners and several children, but details about his family were closely guarded state secrets. His son and successor, Kim Jong-un, was barely known to the world before he was announced as Kim's heir. This secrecy extended to all aspects of governance, with defectors revealing the existence of pleasure squads, young women who were selected to entertain the elite, suggesting a hedonistic lifestyle starkly at odds with the privations of ordinary North Korean citizens. The hidden nature of his personal affairs contrasts deeply with the intrusive surveillance that citizens endured under his regime. Number 9. Systematic human rights violations. Kim Jong Il's regime was notorious for its systematic human rights violations. International organizations have consistently reported on the extensive use of political prison camps, where estimates suggest up to 200,000 people were detained in conditions of forced labor, torture, and execution without trial. Defectors have reported that these camps were sites of appalling atrocities, including starvation and abuse. The North Korean government under Kim denied the existence of these camps, despite satellite evidence confirming their operation. This widespread repression served to eliminate dissent and maintain a climate of fear that ensured the stability of Kim Jong Il's rule. Number 10. The immortalization of Kim Jong Il. Following his death in December 2011, Kim Jong Il was declared the Eternal General Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea and the Eternal Chairman of the National Defense Commission, titles that enshrine him in perpetuity within the nation's governance structure. His body lies in state in the Kumsusan Palace of the Sun, transformed into a mausoleum, along with his father and North Korea's founding leader, Kim Il-sung. This posthumous glorification aims to legitimize the hereditary succession and maintain his ideological legacy, reinforcing the regime's foundations laid during his lifetime. Number 11. The secretive succession of Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong Il's preparation of Kim Jong-un for leadership was characterized by both secrecy and strategic exposure. Kim Jong-un's presence at high-profile military parades and state functions increased in the years preceding his father's death, signaling his grooming for power. However, details about him were sparse and tightly controlled. In 2010, he was made a 4-star general and given prominent party positions, despite having little military experience, underscoring the dynastic nature of succession and the importance of continuity in the Kim dynasty. Number 12. Kim Jong-un's hidden years in Switzerland. Kim Jong-un's education in Switzerland was conducted under the guise of anonymity, as he was enrolled under the assumed identity of Pakun or Kolpak. He attended the Liebfeld-Stein-Hulsley School in Konais near Bern, where classmates recalled him being shy, passionate about basketball, and fascinated with the American culture. These years in Switzerland have been suggested to influence his later leadership style, which includes occasional uncharacteristic openness such as engaging with foreign leaders and pop culture. Despite North Korea's self-imposed isolation, Kim Jong Il seemed to understand the value of his heir having insights into Western society, an irony not lost on observers of the Hermit Kingdom.